here we are with all your sisters. So just right off the bat, if you mind just introducing yourselves.
I'm Jordan.
Mario.
Can you tell me the name? What are the origins and why did you choose it?
All your sisters. It was just origin. I don't know. Started out 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I was by myself, and I liked it. Initially, I had some other friends. I'm trying to think here. Sorry. Yeah, it was just I liked the name. Basically, there's no like hidden meaning behind it, and there was just some sort of thing that sticked. I liked it the way it looked written out, and then I just went from there. Just stuck with it.
Right. And how did you guys meet?
We met in the Bay Area, and we basically met. It was an All Your Sisters tour. I was touring solo. I was with another band. He was friends with the other band. He was along for the ride, and him and I hung out and met and kind of.
The tour wasn't very ideal. Wasn't very fun. We kind of connected on the fact that we were both having a bad time, and we kind of were talking about music, and we kind of just clicked on what we liked. And I liked what he was doing when I saw him play solo, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And we just kind of became friends, and then later on started playing music.
Cool.
Yeah, we even had a tour where it was just I was doing a solo act, he was doing his solo act together, and then it was just like, why don't we just play together? It made some good sense.
How would you describe your overall sound if you had to classify your music for a potential new listener?
It's always a tough one, I guess, but it's just drum machine and noise.
Yeah, post-punk is like a really vague term to me these days. I think maybe I'd just say like really aggressive post-punk, or like, because that kind of puts a more descriptive word for what we're doing.
I've heard other people say like industrial post-punk, and that seems like it works pretty good. Gets the point across.
What comes first usually, the songs or the instruments? Meaning, do you formalize ideas and then find the sounds you need, or do you listen to sounds from your instruments first and then create a song around that, or is it possibly a combination of both?
I guess it's a combination now, but it's kind of always evolving. Things have changed. The first record was completely different. A lot of the first record was the drum machine already had everything kind of programmed, the basic song structure. We made some adjustments, but pretty much it was like the song was already in the drum machine, and then we added a synth line or added a lead. Now I feel like we're in the studio, and our practice studio, and we just kind of come up with like a basic drum beat. I kind of have like a bunch of different ones I work on at home, and we'll play one and then just noodle around and see what happens, and then kind of build it kind of slowly, organically in the practice space. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this time around with the new record, we wrote it pretty much like 50-50. Like, you had a guitar line, or I had a synth line or a bass line, and we built the drum patterns around those things. Or we had a lot of ideas that we kind of pieced together into a song. Like Open Wide is kind of one of those that came together on a bunch of different ideas that we pieced together, and it sounded really good.
Yeah. Are there defined roles in the creative process between the two of you, as far as who comes up with the lyrics and who comes up with the melodies and the rhythm tracks or anything like that?
Well, I'd say for now, like I'm doing the drum machine stuff because I have the drum machine.
And the vocals, I mean, he's the lyricist. I trust him. I like his lyrics. I like what he has to say, so I put my trust in that.
And then we take turns, I guess, as far as like melodies and stuff like that. Sometimes he'll come up with a really good synth line, and I'll try to just like add some sort of layer on top. Or the bass line, of course, too. I would say mostly he's probably got the melodies, and I do a lot of the noise or texture on top with the guitar. Yeah, so I would say it's that. Kind of covers it, but.
Jordan, in previous interviews, you've mentioned that lyrical inspiration came from your time as a paramedic and your religious upbringing. What other influences have shaped the new album?
I would say just living in San Francisco and kind of the last few, like 4 or 5 years, how things have been changing so much. I'm sure there's been a lot of change here in New York too. But you're just automatically kind of influenced by what is around you.
Right.
And you can't help but like have that somehow get into the music. I guess there's been the city's kind of had like a dark feel, so it maybe even made the music more dark sounding, just by virtue of like living in that environment and the social climate of just like the United States in general, or the world, just all the things that are happening on the news and things,
Right. Mara, where do you find your creative influences from?
I would say, I mean, in recent time, it's only been, for me, in the recent years, discovering more about what I guess that we're doing, or what people are considering what we're doing in the post-punk realm. So I like to explore a lot of that. Like, I like discovering new bands, old bands, and I kind of like listen to all the things that they're doing and maybe put my own spin on it. But I also have a long background in like, I just grew up listening to like R&B and like hip hop and stuff. So my background also is like melodies and like hooks, and that's kind of where I'm at least musically. I mean, creatively also comes from living in San Francisco and just surviving. You know, we both have just like service jobs that, you know, we can try to pay the bills and try to get by, and it's become a lot more difficult, getting more expensive where we live. And I think that shows in like our aggression and it's like our creative output now. So.
Amazing. You leaving me?
So you've just released your second album, Uncomfortable Skin. Which songs from this album and from your other earlier releases do you think really encapsulate the All Your Sisters sound?
I'm sorry, say that again. Which songs?
What particular songs from your catalog would you say really encapsulates your sound?
From this current album?
Or even the previous ones?
I feel like Heater on this album. That song kind of, it's got like everything in there. It's got the drum machine is really heavy. It's got a lot of noisy guitar. The lyrics kind of cut through. Mario's got like a heavy synth line. I feel like that one really kind of just is like jam-packed. All Your Sisters jam-packed into like 2 minutes there.
Right.
Yeah, I think Open Wide on this new record to me is a really strong song. Or I mean, I really love that song and I love playing it. I think that kind of encapsulates what we're doing because it's like a fresh new take on the post-punk idea. I think it's kind of seems chaotic, but it also is like familiar. And a lot of people love like Come Feel from the first record and like Tension. I think, I don't know, it just covers all the bases. I think maybe the first record was a little more synth based. This one's a lot more like bass and guitar.
Yeah.
But you know, that can change with the mixer.
Who came up with the cover for the new album? And what is it?
Well, I'll let Mario speak on that one.
It's a skin parasite.
Okay.
Like a really blown up version of a microscopic skin parasite. And the back is like a detailed, like blown up version of like eczema or something. It's just kind of the idea of literal like uncomfortable skin, like you know, a rash or something that's wrong, and eczema and all these things. But also just like being uncomfortable with yourself, or you know, being uncomfortable and like fitting in with things, or just where you are in your life. It has a lot of different meanings, and I think we just thought that it's such a striking image that it can be taken in. Now, yeah, a lot of people are like, "What is that?" They're like, "Is it like a phallic thing?" And I'm like, "Well, it kind of is, but that's just because that's
It was like a lamprey or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mario found the picture, we were going through like a bunch of microscopic slides. We kind of like nailed it or minimized it too, and I liked that one a lot, and the one that's on the back. And then for me especially, I really liked that other idea of like it kind of touching on like the basis of feeling uncomfortable in your own skin.
Right.
And I especially kind of felt like that growing up, just like all of us, you know. But especially with like the religious background and all that, was just always kind of jarring to me, and you're always like questioning yourself, you know. And that's where a lot of the lyrical content comes from, so it kind of fit with the picture really well there.
Who are some of your all-time favorite music acts that you feel have been an influence on your sound, and why?
I'd say I've always been a fan of Glenn Branca, and I was excited we got to see him last night, just before the start of the tour. I've always been into guitar, and he's like, I don't know, I guess like one of my idols, or if you want to say it, that just what he does with the guitar and with all the different layers and progressions and the changes. And I also grew up playing music in high school and all that, so I really appreciate all his pieces. And then I would say I've always been interested in percussion and played drums, but as far as like the drum machine sound that we have, I've always been inspired by like Front 242 or Parade Ground and some of the Belgian acts, and then New Order for sure. Early on, that was probably like the first band I heard with drum machine that it just like kind of took me back for sure.
Mari?
Yeah, I would say, I think my favorite band of all time is probably the Smiths, which actually probably influenced the bass playing side of things, and just like really intricate guitar work. You know, Johnny Marr is like insane with like guitar work. I've been revisiting The Cure a lot lately, and just kind of blowing my own mind and being like, man, I haven't listened to this stuff in so long, and it's like the pornography record is like amazing. But yeah, I kind of, when I was in high school, I really liked like early punk. Like, I was really into like Flux and Pink Indians and like Crass, really aggressive, maybe, you know, kind of political type things for the time. And I think that just evolved into like smoother territory, like dance music, and then that was like New Order, and now it's just maybe, you know, more interested in post-punk. At least having gone to Europe now, discovering like the forefather of like cold wave and things like that. It's like Belgium and all these places.
Right.
So it's been really cool.
What are some like contemporary acts you follow, and would you recommend checking out? People should check out. What do you really like?
Let's see. I really like Rendezvous from France. I think they're from Paris. I just listened to this EP by Pleasure Symbols. I think they're from like New Zealand, Australia. Yeah. There's an act from San Francisco called Red Red Red. It's really cool. Michael's a really nice guy. He used to do more industrial stuff. This is like kind of like a weird noisy mixture of like techno and like post-punk or something. Those are definitely on my radar.
Yeah, there's so many good bands out there, but I really like a band from Denver called Echo Beds, like an industrial band, really raw. So there's so many other ones. I like Pop 1280, who's local. Let's see, Chasms from San Francisco. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. I'm really excited for this new Street Sex record. I'm really curious to see them live too. They're so aggressive. Pretty much any of these new bands, I really enjoy like seeing them live, and like if I can be really taken back, then I'm kind of like all in. You know, they got me for forever. So.
You're about to embark on a pretty extensive European tour. Do you enjoy playing Europe? Do you feel the band is received any differently there than they are here?
I really enjoyed it the last time. I feel like we were in kind of a weird place, just with playing shows and just trying to exist in San Francisco, and it was just such a struggle. And then going to Europe, it kind of made me smile again. A lot of the people there were just like so happy that you came to their city, and they're just so excited. So a lot of people like knew the lyrics to the songs, which that never really happened before. Yeah, it's just a different feeling, and it was really nice. We're really excited to go back. Eastern Europe was great. We're really excited to go there again, and we're exploring a little bit more of the areas that were like the best ones for us. But, yeah, I really appreciate the European audience for sure.
Are you looking forward to playing New York tonight?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. This is my first time in New York in my life, so it's about time.
Yeah, this is the first All Your Sisters show in New York, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
And always my favorite question to ask on interviews: what is your favorite curse word and why?
Interesting. I don't even know. I'm trying to think what
we actually say.
Yeah, what we say. I tend to, when I'm driving in town, I feel like I don't know, like I'm fucked. I don't know. It's just like, the emphasis is like, you're not just like screwed or like you're in trouble. You're like, man, I am fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you're like stuck in traffic, or you took the wrong exit, and now you're across the bay or whatever. Some weird thing like that. Is the only thing I could think of. It's kind of plain, I guess. I'm sure everybody says that, but for the most part, I don't know. I feel like I don't use too many curse words all the time. But in movies, I don't know.
I think I would agree that I probably use fuck a lot more than anything else, but I don't necessarily use it. I think I use it as like things are fucked, or like something's going wrong. I think maybe if I were to think about my favorite curse word that I think is like has an actual jarring, like derogatory effect, would be like cunt. But I would never say that. Mm-hmm. But I think as a curse word, that's like a legit curse word. To be like, that was being used, that's pretty bad. So I'm gonna go with fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word?
You know what? No one's ever asked me that question. I think twat is usually the one that I usually like, because it's bad, but I think it's kind of
fun.
It's kind of funny at the same time.
Yeah, it's like there's like
And originally I'm from England, so it's like one of those these things that just a little bit. So yeah. Well, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with the tour,
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
and look forward to seeing you guys play today.
Look forward to playing.
Awesome. Thanks.